Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., domestically, here comes Brady and Belichick off the bus together. Oh, it's Bears, Brady, and Belichick. That's a triple B situation right there.
Killer B.
All right. Rough week for the two teams playing in Dallas last week.
The Green Bay Packers off to a great start, a record of 3-0.
Cowboys off to a great start, so tonight's a big test.
Wentz goes to Howard. He's in for the touchdown and made it look easy.
Over the middle, and Witten fumbles.
Rushing defense just not there this evening.
And Prescott's going to get sacked.
Throws the slant right side. It's deflected off the hands and intercepted.
The Eagles just flipped the script.
Final play. Prescott hit as he throws. Right side, intercepted. The Cowboys suffer their first loss of the season.
Man, that was a wild Sunday night affair, and that's how we kick off hour number 2 of our Week 5 edition of NFL Game Day Morning. I am Rich Eisen, along with 3 guys who would prefer not to talk about the fact that they were most concerned about me lone wolfing both the Saints and the Eagles last week. We'll place that personal stuff aside and hit the professionalism right here with a topic bar after we let you know about what's coming up here on the show. Let's roll through all of that to get to the topic bar. Otherwise, I'll keep tap dancing about my lone wolfing. We don't care. Don't care. More concerning loss last week. Oh, gosh. Guys going full Cutler right now. Never go full Cutler, guys. I'm just going to warn you straight up. The Packers or Cowboys, more concerning loss from last week. Michael Irvin, you're first.
I want to cry about the loss, but you're making me laugh with this lone wolf stuff. Let me tell you, and it's not even a close look at this will tell you it's definitely the Cowboys. Because what we do here, we don't just see what happened, we see how it happened. And the way the Cowboys lost was they got their strength attacked. The strongest part of this team is the offensive line. And that's exactly what got beat down up in New Orleans last week. He could not run the ball. We knew, as great as Dak looked early on in the season, that sooner or later that would come back to the fold. But what we did not know was that this run game would not get going. Zeke only had 35 yards last week, man. They got to get that on track this week. So definitely for me, the Dallas Cowboys.
To me, Mike, I'm concerned about the Packers loss. And you and I were both there for Thursday night football. Everybody picked the Packers. You got to be out of your mind to pick the Eagles on a night like that, right, Rich?
Or
and
absurdly
so,
accurate.
because the Packers were undefeated, confident, healthy, at home. Everything was going for them. And here comes the Eagles limping in there with about 8 guys hurt, right? And nobody in their right mind would think that they could do that. And you know what? They ran the ball right down the Packers' throat. There wasn't a weakness with this undefeated Packer team until, oh, yeah, they can't stop the run. So when you can't stop the run, what are you going to do? You're going to start adding people to the box? I mean, it's hard to add players. And right now, the Dallas Cowboys can run the football. A lot of teams can run the football. I'm concerned about the Packers' run defense.
And I'm concerned with both of them. And it really was about the nature of how they lost. Because coming into last week, if you asked anybody, what are the strengths of these two teams? Up to this point in the season, it was the Green Bay Packers defense. Everybody talking about the defense and the Smith brothers and what kind of change they've had there. And then, as you said, Mooch, bang, just run down their throat. There were huge holes in that game that Rich could have ran through. Yeah, Rich could have ran through those. And then I looked at the Dallas Cowboys. But then I looked at the Dallas Cowboys, and I said the same thing. I'm like, the strength of their team is their offensive line. Always has been. Right. I know Dak's been playing great. We talk about Zeke over the years. But it's the offensive line. And they were dominated in the offensive line. And I know you can say, well, Tyron Smith went out with the ankle. It was interior, Michael, that it was time and time again, pass game, run game. They were getting dominated in their offensive front. So I'm concerned about both teams because you said these are our strengths, and then they were exposed in those areas of strength. So I can't wait to watch it today. You got what, again, is considered the strength of the Dallas Cowboys against what was considered the strength of the Green Bay Packers. Going head-to-head, it's going to be a great matchup.
But some guys with the Cowboys are banged up in that strength, you know, without Tyron Smith. And I'm concerned about how this thing plays out. Dallas cannot get into a passing game contest with Aaron Rodgers. He's too great, and you got those Smith brothers coming off the edge. They will have to get back to running the football.
Well, I'm just most concerned about your losses, and you're being exposed as well. So you guys just, Hang tight. We'll just see how it all works out later on. Mason Rudolph, everybody. Mason Rudolph. He is showing up for work. He's getting his first taste of the Ravens-Steelers rivalry. So is Earl Thomas. I mean, it's going to be an interesting day today. And we send things out to Western PA for the latest on this. And Tom Pelissero manning the Heinz Field Fort for us today.
Rich, Ravens safety Earl Thomas told me everything's okay between him and teammate Brandon Williams after the two exchanged some heated words following last week's loss to the Browns. Thomas was upset one of the defense's top run stoppers was inactive with a knee injury on a day the Ravens gave up over 500 yards for a second consecutive week. We're having some issues on the back end right now, Thomas said. We got to make teams one-dimensional so we can get our stuff together back there. Williams questionable again today against the Steelers, who used short passing, screens, even some wildcat to help Mason Rudolph get his first win on Monday night. Running back Jalen Samuels told me this week you can see Rudolph knows his stuff. He's more confident in the huddle. We're all just trying to make his job easier. Rich?
Tom, appreciate that. So you've got the Ravens and the Steelers. You just heard that about Earl Thomas trying to, I guess, tamp things down in the way that he appears to feel the need to. Will the Steelers take control back of the AFC North in this game? I mean, they have an opportunity to go 2-3, and even the Ravens came into the week at this 1 week ago today in first place in the AFC North. They could be in third place by the end of the day.
I'm going to say no. I mean, I was there at the game last Monday night, and Cincinnati looked awful. Steelers did some really good things. We'll talk about some of them in Football 101 coming up in a little while, but I just don't believe they can sustain that against a good football team. They're going to need more from their quarterback and wide receivers if they're going to win. And first couple games where I've seen Mason Rudolph start, he struggled to make plays and generate plays with his right arm down the field. It has to be designed, and I believe against this Ravens team, this defense, but more importantly against this offense, if they get things rolling and can score some points, that it's going to be tough for Pittsburgh Steelers today.
You know, for me, guys, when I see this, I first look at these head coaches and say, in both places, you know, New Orleans, where they've lost their quarterback. Sean Payton's doing a wonderful job at redesigning ways to win football games. And here in Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin, you know, now it's about their defense. And those guys have said, we got to step up now because all of the killer bees are gone now, and they got a young offense. And that defense has stepped up, and it is playing great. Mike Tomlin is getting back to his roots where he controls everything. It's not about Ben Roethlisberger. It's not about this offense. It's about this defense. It's about getting back to the old way that they play Steeler football. Now, I should answer the question, Michael. Don't just vent on, but answering the question, no, I don't think they are. actually going to make a run.
If they win, they're in first place, right? And I think they're going to win. You know, you talk about that defense of Mike Tomlin's.
The Browns have a say on Monday Night Football, but I understand what you're saying.
9 first-round draft choices on that defense. Now, that's a talented bunch. I don't care if you're talking about T.J. Watt or Edmonds or Minka Fitzpatrick or Joe Hayden or Devin Bush. They got guys all over the place. That defense is going to get better as they play together. And on offense, Mason Rudolph, he's throwing little dinky doos the whole time, right? And he'll get better. He's going to be at home. He's not going to have any crowd noise to deal with. But you know what? This Raven defense, guys, is not your father's Ravens defense. They've given up over 500 yards in the last 2 games. That's never happened before in the history of their franchise. So Mason Rudolph will have some success moving the ball and taking another step.
Meanwhile, in New Jersey, if there's ever been a time that Kirk Cousins needs to uncork vintage you like that football, today would be that day. 2-2 Vikings coming in after a very wild week in which Stephon Diggs was reportedly disciplined for whatever was going on behind the scenes. Adam Thielen talking about the lack of downfield passes. Mike Zimmer, however, relying on a run-first, defense-first strategy that certainly works well against rookie quarterbacks since he has taken over the reins in Minnesota, and Daniel Jones, where Kay Adams and company are on location, is a rookie quarterback. Kay?
Thank you so much, Rich. That's right. Rookie quarterbacks have a 3-5 record against Zimmer since 2014, since he took over the reins there in Minnesota. The crowd is feisty. These are two 2-2 teams, and of course, a lot of excitement surrounding Daniel Jones. It is really windy here in East Rutherford this morning.
Yes, it is.
Here with Sean O'Hara and Mike Robinson. So they might want to run the ball. I don't know how much success Wayne Gallman will have this week against this Minnesota run defense, and I'm not sure how much success Daniel Jones is going to have. Yes, 561 passing yards throughout his first 2 starts. He won them both. This is a whole new level, Sean.
It is, and without Saquon Barkley, you're looking for all the help you can get. Well, look no further than your new wide receiver, Golden Tate, coming back from his 4-game suspension. All right, we know about Golden Tate, his yards after the catch, but what else can Golden Tate do? He can create great separation, and it's with the slant route, throws up the sideline. This is what you're getting with Golden Tate. I had to go back to the preseason, Mike Rob. But here's the slant right here, all right? I want you to watch on press coverage, Kay. Watch this separation he gets right here with his hands. All right, this is allowed. Contact within 5 yards. Michael Irvin will tell you there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing. Some space. Golden Tate plays bigger than he looks. Here he is up the sideline. When you're running this route of the sideline, you've got to leave room for your quarterback to throw the football. Great throw by Daniel Jones. And look at this catch right here, all right? You got to appreciate that right there.
Look at that.
Golden Tate is more athletic and has better hands than people give him credit for. So I think having Golden Tate will help Daniel Jones out. The tough thing is this Vikings defense, they play sticky coverage. You've got 2 good corners. They're going to have to move Golden Tate around. He's going to be outside. He's going to be in the slot. They're going to put him in motion. But I think for Daniel Jones, just got to get the ball out and get the ball in your hands of your playmakers.
I spoke to Golden during the preseason when he was out there working with Daniel Jones, getting reps with him, getting to know him. He could not have spoken more highly of the young quarterback. And this is when he's new, trying to get a hang of the offense. Also second to Eli Manning, who started the season here. And I know Golden cannot wait to make an impact and be on the field here today.
Yeah, Golden's going to help with the run game because the thing about Golden, he's a hard tackle, right? You can get the ball in his hands real close to the line of scrimmage. Yes, and it's very hard to bring him down. But especially on 3rd down and in blitz situations, Daniel Jones is going to have to be great in blitz situations, especially that blitz situation when the Minnesota Vikings do that double A-gap blitz, Sean. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
4-2-5 double mug.
There it is. The center and the running back have to be tied together. You have to know where the loopers are coming from. You have to know where the penetrators are coming from. If Daniel Jones can be explosive on those plays and basically talk George Edwards and Mike Zimmer out of those types of defenses, I'm telling you, the game will be the New York Giants to win.
We'll see if the Giants can go 3-0 under Daniel Jones as they invite the Vikings and Kirk Cousins to town. I'm just trying to get something out of this crowd. Are you guys excited? More from here outside of MetLife. I mean, I live in New York. I've been here with Eli Manning, now Daniel Jones. There's definitely a new energy around Giants.
It's a new air.
He's building his own home thanks to Lowe's. It's a new home for him.
Over to Kim Jones. She's covering everything inside the stadium for us before this matchup. Kim, welcome to the show.
Well, good morning, Kay. You know, I talked to Xavier Rhodes this week, the terrific cornerback for the Vikings, and I asked him about Daniel Jones. First thing he said was, well, he's 2-0 as a starter. That says a lot. But Rhodes also said that Jones gets the ball out quick, gives his receivers a chance, and is not afraid. Rhodes added that the Vikings want to keep Daniel Jones in the pocket. As far as Jones goes, he does have 5 turnovers. I asked Pat Shurmur about that this week. Shurmur doesn't seem concerned about any of that. He said, I think you want to be aggressive. He's an aggressive thrower of the football, and we want him to do what he has been doing. That's the take on the rookie quarterback. Now on the running back who remains out, that is Saquon Barkley, of course. I send it to my teammate, Ian Rappaport.
Well, thanks, Kim. You actually talked to Saquon at his locker exclusively earlier in the week and for a story that we just posted on NFL.com. And one of the things he said that really struck me was the timelines that we heard, 6 to 8 weeks from some reports, made no sense at all. Saquon thinks he has a real shot at being able to play Thursday against the Patriots in a huge game. I talked to his trainer, Ryan Flaherty. He actually told me if this was a playoff game, Saquon would be playing, even though he just suffered a high ankle sprain a couple weeks ago. He would be playing if this was a playoff game. He is very close to being out on the field. So how did he do it? From what I understand, round-the-clock rehab, hot and cold contrast, a lot of work on balance with his ankle has gotten Saquon, Rich, to an unbelievable point. Listen to these quotes from his trainer. Saquon isn't human. It's healing like nothing I've seen in 50